Hey everybody, Rudy here. I'm about to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And when I say a while, maybe like a month and a half. And it's this idea that's been floating around that this world isn't real, and some people even say that we may be living in an AI generated world. And I do believe that to an extent, but only to the extent of we're the reality generator beings, the RGBs. You know, God's light. The reality has to bend to us. And a weird thing kind of struck me one day when I was watching one of Matt McKinley's free voice presentations, where he was going over the pictures on his Mac and some of the pictures that subscribers have sent him that are just odd anomalies. And the main thing that kind of caught my attention was this CD 101.9 thing. And when you take a step back, it kind of looks like COVID. You can see it over here. It looks like COVID. Hold on, let me see if my cursor is recording. Yep, capture cursor. Oop. And it looks like it says COVID. And to be honest, what really got me thinking is that it seriously reminded me of AI generated text, where the text usually in AI generated images, at least so far, I think the technology is probably getting better, but so far whenever there's text in an AI generated image, it's like funky and weird and just bizarre. And I'm going to give some examples here, but this right here very well does say COVID. It says COVID, right? It's a Mandela effect. It's a retrocausal. Absolutely. But we need to take a step back and really think about how many filters this image has been through, because this is a screenshot that I took from Matt's free voice presentation. And if you take that a step back, it's a picture he took being filtered through whatever video editing software he used, and so on and so forth. It just keeps taking steps back. So no matter how you slice it, this image is AI generated, because these algorithms, the video editing, the codecs, your own photos, the film that you use to take photos back in the 90s, I think it was taken like in the late 90s maybe, predictive programming. But when you take a step back and realize that how many filters has this image gone through since the 90s, and it's just been filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered. And to me, that's kind of how the reality works, where it can't help but become AI generated, because not only is it AI generated, it has to go through our senses as well. So you have another extra layer of I don't know how else to put it, just another layer of filtering on top of multiple layers of filtering. That's kind of my premise. And so I did leave a comment on it was actually the presentation titled Is Predictive Programming What We Think? And to be honest, I don't remember too much what the presentation was about. It doesn't matter by this point. I'm gonna go ahead and read the comment I left. Got a few upvotes because I hadn't seen it. It was a month ago actually that this struck me. I'm gonna go and read it off. The CD 101.9 thing really reminds me of the way text and words look in AI graphic art, where it sort of looks like letters, but you can tell it's gibberish. Maybe that's what we're looking at when we see these old video or photos. It's almost like reality gaslights us when we look into an old photo album or home movie. Since we really can't remember what something looks like, it can generate whatever reality it wants in order to serve needs in the present. Very good presentation. Take it easy, Matt. I think that's all I left. Apparently I left another comment responding to someone else. I'm going to read his real quick. The creeps do not know what reality is. That gives them too much credit for intelligence. They know spells and human psychology. The end. And I go, yep, the best they can do is inject their little numbers and symbols and hope real spiritual beings cast a spell for them. They're entirely incapable. Yep, no arguments from me. But I do mean it when I think that we do get gaslit with through our own memories, the Mandela effects. Like I've referred to it before, the Mandela effects are just error correcting code, where you see something and it's almost like a deja vu in a sense, like the error correcting code. You know, in the Matrix, the cat glitches out, reality has to quickly fix it, so it creates a Mandela effect in a way, where in that instance only Neo kind of witnessed the Mandela effect occur in real time. But we get gaslit into thinking it's just deja vu, like you had a little stroke or whatever they say nowadays when it comes to deja vu. Here's just some examples of the text issue I'm talking about. It's just kind of gibberish. This is what it reminds me of, the CD at 101.9. Anytime you look at old photo albums and you can these letters are either low res or high res. And in this case, if you were to look at this isn't my art, by the way, this is just stuff I pulled off the internet. Just absolute gibberish. Like you can't even tell what it is. This AI art generation is getting really good, to be honest, and it is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. As an artist, it's like, wow, like it's some good stuff in a lot of cases. But it's always strange, like not only the text, but look at his eye. It's just like what is even happening? It's little errors like this and this tangent right here. The way this lines up with whatever's in front of his shoulder. A human, if I were to critique this as like if it was a human or something, I'd be like, that's a really bad tangent. Just the way it's kind of sticking out over here. Here I am critiquing AI art generations. Fucking waste of time. But anyway, y'all get my point with this. I got other examples. Whatever this is, again, not my art. Pulled off of a 4chan thread. The word hero is legible at least, right? But this is what, when we look at old photos, this is what happens to me. Like I said, layers of digital, here's another example. This was not safe for work, so it's cropped. People are mainly using this to generate their own porn, their own waifus, essentially. And this was really disturbing. I'm not going to show the whole thing, obviously. You can see the face is just completely fucked up right here. But, just more examples, guys. If you don't like this kind of stuff, just turn off the video. I don't blame you. It's disturbing in a big way, in a lot of ways. Here's another example where the text is just funky up here in the left-hand corner. Kind of Japanese letters, this weird ASCII text. It kind of looks like Russian. I'm pretty sure a Russian person would be like, bro, it does not look Russian, but that's just what it looks like to me because I'm an ugly American, right? Like the 7-Eleven jumper thing. This was in Matt's presentation. The kiosk. I don't know if it was, I don't know if Matt didn't take these pictures as his friend or his online acquaintance. Or it has 9/11 jumper imagery like in the video, in the homemade movie. And it's like, is it retro-causal, or I'm starting to get on the side of it's completely just AI generated by this point, like our memories. Like I said, we get gaslit into thinking something else is going on. It's just disturbing. Like, look at this. This is disturbing in the same way the AI art I just showed is disturbing, and it's just that kind of creepy, this kind of unsettling imagery. Just take out the idea of 9/11 jumpers, right? And just looking at it, just looking at it. It's low res because it's a screenshot of a video. It's low res, obviously, but like I said, it's been through filters in the same way our senses filter reality. And we're gonna get a little more personal in a moment. This is the other one. I'm not sure if this was in Matt's presentation. I don't think it was, but it's this right here. Again, it looks like AI art generation kind of gone amok with the 9/11, like a glitch almost. It's just kind of stupid, like silly as fuck, but it is what it is. And I want to talk about something a little more personal. This is a picture. I want to talk about something a little more personal. This is a picture of my wife's father in the 80s, I believe. It might have been the late 80s. There's a Curious George. Can't tell if it has a tail. But again, this is actually from film. This was actually a photograph that I took with my phone that was in my hand. So you got 2 layers already. So you got the film, that's 1 layer, taking a snapshot of reality, right? The film onto the picture. My phone takes a picture of the picture of a photo. You can see the background up here. It was sitting on the table. There's a napkin behind it. So there's another filter, and then I put it on, then I send it through an email. It's another filter. Then it gets sent to, then I put it on here. It's another filter. There's probably filters I'm missing in, but I think I'm getting my point across when I'm saying this layer and filter. And then the whole reason I'm bringing this up is this anomaly right here. This thing he has in his hand isn't anything I've ever seen before. And my wife has told me that her father, before he passed away, he was really heavy into technology. Like you can see a VHS tape from like a rental store. You can find those at Blockbuster and stuff like that. There's a little dog. I think it's a little dog. Yeah, that's one of their little dogs. Dead now, obviously. But I'm into video games, guys, and I grew up with video games. And this controller is something I've never seen before at all in my life. And not only that, it looks wireless. And I've looked at it. Me and my wife were just like studying it, trying to figure out what this controller was. And from what she told me, he owned a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, Philips CDI, a PlayStation 1, and I'm probably missing something else. But this is something I've never ever seen before. And it looks wireless. And the way he's got his thumbs placed, it's almost as if it's a dual analog, where his thumbs are kind of lower on the controller. I mean, if there's anyone out there that knows what the hell this is, please leave a comment. But it's like little anomalies like this, and this is what caught my attention. When I first saw this photo, I was like, something's wrong. Like, something is wrong. And this is actually way before the AI art generation thing kind of took off. I took this photo maybe like 6 months before it started getting crazy with the art generation, I want to say. So the art generation shit wasn't on my mind when I took this image. I kind of forgot about it. And when I was going through my phone looking at my stuff, I was like, oh my God, this photo, which now to me looks AI generated. And then you got this over here, the cat, the ever watching. I referred to the reality as a cat in heat a few times in my comments when I mainly comment on other people's videos. And there's just an oddity I've been noticing where the cat is watching. There's a cat watching in a photo, and it happens more times than I'm comfortable with. To the point where it's like, I'm not saying reality is like a cat, or I've referred to this reality as a black mirror. It's almost like I'm just gonna say it, y'all think I'm nuts anyway, but it's like the black mirror takes the form of a cat that's just watching patiently. I don't know, man. It's just something that crossed my mind. I know we're getting into crazy nuttery. We're just getting into well, you know, welcome to Nutterville, but I'm there already, bro. It's like, whatever. I got more examples. This is the Post Nostalgos channel icon, and this is my photo, by the way. It wasn't doctored. I didn't filter anything. The original is this right here. This is my cat Max. There's Lucky. His name's Lucky. Lucky the cat. Because he's lucky. There's a story behind that as well. Maybe I'll tell it. But it's like, I caught this as it happened, and Lucky's just staring at me. You know, Max is looking at him, but it's the cat that's watching. It's just always watching. Like another example, AI art generated. I mean, look at this. Every picture of this cat, every photo I take of Lucky, it looks like this. Just strange, bizarre. Look over here on the right, the mirror. It's just like, I don't know if you've ever seen that website. There's a website called These Cats Do Not Exist. Before, like years before this AI art generation got crazy, there's art generation website called These Cats Don't Exist. Right here, These Cats Don't Exist. Or do not exist, sorry. Where these are all AI art generated. These cats aren't real. Like I said, it takes images from, I guess it takes images from a database and kind of mixes them together to make an entirely different image. But that's what it reminds me of when I look at the images of my cat, so especially Lucky. It just always looks strange. It always looks bizarre. Where it's uncanny is the best I could put it. Look at this one right here, this one in the middle, that my cursor's on. It's just strange, you guys. I know this is a strange video, but this is something I want to talk about. Look at this one. It looks like kittens kind of nursing. You can refresh the page. It'll show new ones. This stuff like this. Look at this over here on the right. Oh my goodness. It's like a mishmash of organs or something, limbs. Like I said, guys, a lot of this stuff may be disturbing to y'all, and I don't blame y'all. But this site has been around for a while. I can't really put a date on it. Look, there's a black cat. I can't necessarily put a date on it, but I don't know. It's been around longer than we think. Oh yeah, there's another, I didn't show this, I just cropped this out. I'm not sure if it was not safe for work, but a lot of this art's really good. I like it a lot, to be honest. It doesn't upset me even as an artist. I said in one of my other presentations, if you're an artist and this kind of thing upsets you because you think you're losing your job, well, I mean, just to be frank, you were a trash artist to begin with. You weren't going to make it anyway because you're in it for the wrong reason. But that's besides the point. The weird letters, you know, the half stars and this strangeness. This is Eris Point Project. I took a screenshot. I talked about, I think I left a comment. I don't remember what I said exactly, but I said something along the lines of, I love how your cat is just patiently watching you the whole time. And I said that with these thoughts that, the reality was like a cat. And when I said the reality is like a cat in heat, I was just joking, but I mean, the cats are very, very patient. They'll just sit and stare at you and study you. And to me, I don't know what it is, the vibe I get from the Black Mirror reality, right? It's like and it seems feminine. I mentioned it before, and I still don't know what I mean by that. Like I say things and it's like, I'm not sure why I say it at the time, but it starts making sense as time goes on, because I kind of just forget about it. It's like, oh, I see now. Like this cat thing started making more and more sense when I started seeing more and more cats in people's videos who are just sitting there and watching. Like this too, look how blurry this is. I took this screenshot, but it was about this blurry when during the live video. Shout out to Eris Point Project, cool guy. If I knew his real name, I'd say his real name, but I don't know it. It's his business. Here's another one. This is a real photo, by the way, guys. I took this photo. I remember taking it. And when I looked at it, I was like, what in the world is going on? Because it's like, it's just nonsense. Like a Home Depot bucket, obviously. And I remember I had just bought this bucket. Lucky jumped in it. And this is a little, like a bookshelf that's hanging out over there in the corner. I can see it right now. That we're not using because it's really, really flimsy. You can see we just have a bag on it because it's just so flimsy. It's just unusable. But look at this. Every time this cat is in a photo, it looks fucked up and blurry and just strange. It just looks like kind of possessed. And like, oh my goodness. It's just so funny, guys. Like, this cat is something else. I love this cat. I love Lucky. He's a good cat. He's sweet. This is an image my mother-in-law took outside. She said, she sent it to my wife and my wife showed it to me. I was like, look, she spotted a cat in the corner and look at this, dude. Like, illegible, like absolutely illegible, except for the cat ears. I'm telling you, man, there's something to this little idea I have about the world. Is just like these pictures we take are AI generated. They are because, you know, the codecs and the filters that your camera has and goes through, it's just AI generated, period. Like everything we do is AI generated. So it's not that big of a stretch to say the reality is AI generated. I'm just saying. And I'm not putting it as eloquently as someone like Matt McKinley would do, or just any other guy. Like I'm just a regular dude, like trying to figure this crap out. And it's just like endless entertainment by this point. And there's hope Matt don't mind that I'm showing one of his screenshot I took again with the cat in the corner. That's the only reason I took it. Shout out to Matt McKinley. Cool guy. I enjoy his content, obviously. Again with the weird cats in the backgrounds, just sitting and watching. Like just patience, like ever patient, like a guardian almost. I don't know how else to put it. It comes off as if it's a guardian or of some sort. And on top of all that, I was talking about the multiple layers of AI filtering are taking place at all times. I got notes here for once, which not only does it filter through your camera, through your senses, it also has to filter through your ISP, it has to filter through YouTube. YouTube has its own encoding mechanisms, and it's just so many layers. It's just layer upon layer upon layer. And like I said in my one of my older videos, where the reality has to start low resolution and work its way up. Like when the towers fell, right? When the PPs hit the towers, and it just didn't look right. Every image we've seen of that is just a blurry mess. It's just pixely. It looks unreal, and I'm just convinced at this point it's just some kind of Mandela effect, error correcting code that's retrocausal. That not only is retrocausal, but is going through AI filters, AI generated. And I was never on board with this AI, the reality is AI generated, guys, until recently. The past like 2 months or so, I was like, maybe there's something to it. Because people will leave, a few people left comments on my videos talking about how, you know, the whole reality, this world's AI generated, like everything about it. And I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. But I don't just dismiss ideas like that. I'm just like, is there something to that? And this was actually before the AI generation craze started, the chat GPT and all that. This is before all that, where people were saying that. So it's not like they got that idea from this fad, this meme. And I just thought about it, and it's when this AI thing took off where it started actually looking like these old weird photos of mine, or that I capture or whatever. Looking at my notes, I said I wrote down past and future are stacked in the present. And I think that's true. Well, definitely with the past with Mandela effects, you know, the error correcting code. When you view something, and especially if you view an anomaly, like the video I did where I caught the belly dancers with the cat with multiple tails. That was a Mandela effect, like just no doubt. That was like error correcting code in action. I'll put a link to that video. Some screenshots if y'all aren't familiar. I may have some new subscribers that aren't familiar with that. That was like one of the first instances of me catching a Mandela effect / synchronicity in action. To me, synchronicities, Mandela effects, retrocausal events, those are all one and the same to me. It's all the same shit, just different labels. People want to label whatever the fuck they want. I don't really care. This is what I think. Agree with me or don't agree. As for the future being stacked on the present, I think that's true as well, but only because there is no such thing as past or future. There is only the present. Your senses are taking in reality in the present and the present only. Anything you remember is just an illusion, because they're just memories that are unique to you, which is just an illusion. I've talked about it before. Your thoughts are lies. Your thoughts are an illusion. They're not there. They're not really there. We're not really here. I talked about it a bit in my video titled, I think I titled, Are You Afraid to Disappear? It might have been the Toxic Familia one. And I do wonder, I wrote something interesting. I said, is the Black Mirror attempting to keep up? And that's where these Mandela effects are occurring. With these stacked layers of filters that take place, like for instance, like this image, for instance, looks AI generated, and it has to go through many filters, and there's only so much GPU and CPU that can keep up with these many layers of filtering, right? So Mandela effects have to occur, and not everyone gets the download, especially with big events like 9/11 or even COVID. And I'm not sure, who knows what's going to come about in 20 years because of COVID. And Matt said before that nothing in this world is real, and I think he's right. He may not mean exactly what I mean by it, but this world isn't very real. And if this world isn't real, then everything is AI generated. But like, what are we exactly? That gets me thinking a little bit. What are we? Like, we're the reality generated beings, right? The RGBs, God's light. The reality needs us. The Black Mirror needs people like me and you in order to generate. And these creeps in the shadows know this. And I think it's enmity between the Black Mirror reality and the creeps. Like, the creeps are the invaders, and the reality is at odds with it, because I said it before in my Black Mirror presentation. I'll link to that too if you haven't seen it. New subscribers out there. In my Black Mirror presentation, I made a big leap of logic where I said that the Black Mirror is almost like attempting to wake people up, as many people as possible. And it's not malicious. It's like infected with parasites. And it wants people to wake up. It's not, it doesn't have enmity with us. It likes us, because without us, it's nothing. And it's almost like a realization, a feeling of acceleration into something sinister when it comes to AI art generation. And this AI art thing, this AI chat GPT thing, is attempting to replace us in order for it to create the reality. But it doesn't work that way. It can't work that way. And I'm not sure how to word it yet, because it's a crazy topic, guys. Anyway, guys, I think that's it. I'll just leave off on this picture right here, the Post Nostalgos icon. All I did was erase the background, and that's my icon. Life is wild, guys. Just enjoy it. Don't be, there's nothing to be afraid of. It'll all work out. I really do truly believe that. I'm not just saying that to make myself feel better. Like I said, don't be afraid of the AI art generation. Don't be afraid of reality itself. The Black Mirror reality is not at odds against us. It's at odds against them. The creeps, the not milk. Satan. It's at odds with Satan. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great day.